All right, this is from the 304. What network, in your opinion, would be best fit for the Big 12 when they renew their media rights in a couple of years? That's a great question because there are, like CBS is kind of, it depends. Do they want to get into college football? They used to kind of be the game each week with the SEC, but that's now changed, and that's now a part of ESPN. I got to tell you, I'm being honest. To me, conferences, and I have to sometimes wonder who's even the Power Fives. Sometimes I have to stop myself. And then on top of that, I surely sometimes get screwed up on which networks have what conferences. Because to me, it always seemed like you could still with Fox, CBS, and then whatever combination of ABC, ESPN. Am I right?
Yeah, I'll say this. To answer the question, the best fit for them is whatever network gives them the most money.
There you go. Perfect answer to that.
I think every question we're answering has to do with money when you think about it.
If it's Lifetime, guess what? Add it to your cable subscription.
If it's True TV, if it's by the way, I need to discuss at some point, my cable bill is gone up again because of taxes or whatever. I need help on how I can cut the cord or whatever it is. I watch it less and less. We're going to have to do a podcast on that, okay? Let's do that during some segment.
Yeah, you got to be careful, though, because people cut the cord and then they sign up for 10 subscription services and are actually paying more.
How much are you paying a month, Greg?
Well, I've got it built into my rent, and then there's the other additional charge because, everybody's got to get their piece of the pie. So it's probably, it borders close to $100, and I don't even have all the bells and whistles. Yeah.
All right, and I live in a nice place, and it's not built in. So whatever I pay for it, now I'm not saying that they're screwing me, but I'm just getting a little bit edgy. I had about a $25 increase. That's not going to break me. But it was like all of a sudden it went over a threshold of over $300. Now, not just for cable. Not for cable.
All right.
Internet, cable, and then I have a phone because I do a lot of interviews from right there in my condo. And so that's like an extra few dollars. What is yours?
Mine is about that because I have internet. Right. I have internet which I upgraded when we were doing the show in the house, and a phone, which is this phone number on that account that you call.
So if you want to call Paul and Amanda, the number to call is the one that's our text line.
It forwards right to here.
If you don't want to use the phone for interviews, do Skype, do Zoom. You probably have better quality, and you could actually see the person, or you don't even have to if you don't want to, but that's a free way of doing it, would be to just Zoom or Skype the interviews.
We'd have to do something about this thing.
This laptop. This 8-track player?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But, that would be the simplest thing, to cut the phone line at least, unless you need it for other reasons. But, going back to the network question, I'm with everybody else. Whoever wants to pay the most money, that's where I'd like to see the Big 12 go. CBS has let it be known, I believe, that they're not out of college football. They're still in it. They're just, picking who they're going to take at this point. And I think – I do think the more that I've kind of chewed on it, that the streaming thing's a bit overblown in my opinion. I do think it will be a part of the next wave. I do think that streaming's going to stick around. It's not going anywhere, clearly. It's too popular. But this idea of it somehow supplanting, the more traditional model, money-wise or even audience-wise, I don't think that that's all that realistic. I think there's a place for it, but, how many MLB Friday night Amazon games have you guys watched?
If I did,
did you even remember it's on there?
No.
That's the thing. You may, if the Red Sox are on there, Paul, you've checked it out, but are you like, oh yeah, MLB's on Amazon tonight?
I watched one of the Red Sox games. It was on Apple TV on Friday night, and they went down 6-0 in the second inning, and I turned it off. So it's not. You remember things or not. Do
you know the Yankees are pretty good?
Yeah, they're really dang good.
No, I think streaming is going to be a part of whatever the next wave is, but I just don't think it's going to be like I'm saying this based on what we were talking about maybe like a year ago in terms of streaming and how big everybody was, and like streaming's the thing, streaming with these new conference deals. I'll be very interested to see what kind of streaming deal is
ESPN
part of the Big
Plus
Ten.
Considered streaming?
Yeah,
it's growing.
It's growing, but
I know.
It's definitely going to be a part of it. I'm just saying the cable model's not going anywhere. Everybody can talk about death of cable and all that, but most people are going to still be watching games on cable.
I don't mind I don't mind paying about that. I really don't. But it just seemed like, again, one of the problems is that there are, out of the 5,000 channels that there is, I probably watched 8 of them.
The reason I don't worry about my bill and streaming services, because I only pay for one or two streaming services more than my cable, because a lot of it comes with like HBO Max I get included in my cable, and all the other things I have that like a lot of them are just included. So ESPN Plus is included in my cable. So because I have that through AT&T, that's what I do, but I would love to be able to reduce it completely. But now that I have a decision-making person in the house that's not me, I don't get to necessarily make a call.
Daniel, I have YouTube TV and also subscribe to the Disney, ESPN, Hulu bundle.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's 3 different companies there. It's one. That's all I need.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're not going to get people spread out buying 5 streaming services just to watch college football. Like, that's not going to be a sustainable model, and there's not enough interest, in my opinion. I'm as big of a college football fan as you'll find, and I'm not going to pay $100 extra a month during football season to catch a random Pac-12 game. I'm just simply not going to do it, not during these times especially. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to try to penny pinch and try to make every amount of money they can, so I'm sure there will be a bunch of streaming involved in, all these new deals that are going to be coming up, and that's why I said it'll be interesting to see. But the idea that, like, Netflix is going to get involved, and then not now, not at this point, unless that's their plan to, like, completely reverse their downward spiral. But even to what extent is Amazon involved? We really don't know. Are you going to go get an Amazon subscription just to watch Pac-12 football? Some people might, but a lot of people won't,
Yeah, Craig, by the way, someone complimenting you on your realism, and who was it? Dang it, it means it's going too fast. As well, Craig's realism and practicality. From Matt. Well said, guys. I've been in the cable TV business for 27 years. It expands and contracts all the time. Mergers and acquisitions. There's still a finite group of people that are paying on and on.
Yep.
From Jacob, I cut the cord, ended up going back to traditional cable because the internet wasn't great when I moved, and then I missed my Crimson Tide chaos will ensue. And I'm not saying I'm going to. I was curious if I'm paying $100 more than I should be. Then that's the question.
But the streaming is interesting in that what people are trying to do. So Sinclair Media, who's a gigantic conglomerate that nobody really talks about all that much unless you're in the biz, they own Bally Sports. And Bally Sports is launching a streaming service that they want to charge $20 a month for.
Go away. I am not paying for Bally Sports Plus.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, for $20 a month, you can get HBO Max and Netflix. Or HBO Max and Hulu.
The Disney bundle.
And the Disney bundle. So you can, and there's not going to be near, like, am I going to go back and watch old hockey games? No.
No, I think, it's people trying to pinch us for every single penny that we have. And, there does come a point where you look at it and you go, okay, this is not all adding up. Like, this is a ridiculous amount of money just to be able to watch what I want to watch. And that's where I think, the death of cable, and then everybody had a streaming service. Like, Food Network Plus and Discovery Plus and everything plus. And at some point you realize, wow, I used to have all these channels just on cable, and now I'm having to pay 5 different streams to get the 10 channels that I used to watch. And I don't see how that's sustainable for households unless you just, money's not an issue for you. But I think for the majority of people that it is. So, yeah, I mean, again, that's why I'm curious to see, especially this Big Ten deal. I'm sure there will be a massive part of it that's streaming Big Ten Network and whatever network they're connected to and all that. And there will be a big to-do about it. But for everybody else, I'm just curious to how powerful that streaming aspect of it is, because we've heard Mac Rhodes, like the Big 12's having to get creative with how they can make their TV deal and their, potential programming as enticing as possible, and streaming inevitably gets brought up, and it's going to be a part of it. But just to what extent, I don't think it's what we maybe thought it was going to be like a year ago. I still think the basic bones of viewing is on cable.
All right, we got a break because we have Rob